Am I audible now? Am I audible now, dear students? Okay, so you mean to say I'm audible at now, right? Okay, okay. Thank you so much. So let's begin our lesson today. So all of you, I request all of you to go to your respective sections. Supposing that you are from 10A, then you go to 10A classroom folder and give your attendance. If you think you are from 10, if you are from 10th B, go to 10th B classroom folder and give your attendance. Okay. Is it clear now? We just check once. Is it clear now? Voice is clear now? Yeah. You please give your attendance, but only once you give your attendance. Okay. Don't give twice or thrice. Okay. Just once you click on the form, select your name, and click on the form just once so that you can register your attendance there. Right? Okay. Okay. So, Anudipa, Anusri, Anudipa, is it audible now? Very clearly, you please tell. Okay, nice. So it's very important to give your attendance. Okay, okay. Yes, yes, yes. But one more question I have before I finally start. Am I audible loud and clear? Sonia, why not? You should be able to give your attendance, right? Just click once on the form. In the form, if your name is selected, then submit it. Okay. Okay, nice. Thank you so much. Okay, okay. Uh, okay, Krishna. Okay, thank you. Okay, so actually, I'm trying my earphone today. Like it's a wireless head, sort of a Bluetooth headset, wireless, so that I appear to you more loud and clear. Okay, that is why I'm asking you this question. If I'm audible to you loud and clear. Okay, so thank you, Jui. Thank you so much. Shivam also unable to select. I don't find any reason as to why you should not be able to, select your name. You please try. Actually, see, you need to try once again. I don't know the reason as to why you are not able to select. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Thank you, Akansha, for your confirmation. Okay, Sonia, just leave it then if you're not able to select it. What to do? Okay, just leave it. You should be able to do it. What is the problem? I don't know. You can also try from another browser. Okay, supposing that you are doing from the native browser, you can go to the Google Chrome browser and there you can give attendance. Okay, if you have PC at home, from PC you can give attendance. Okay. Okay. So anyway, those who are able to select your names, please give attendance. Let me begin my lesson now. Right? Okay. So dear students, let us. We have finished our this lesson. That is, this particular lesson, a letter to God. So, what have we learned from this particular lesson? So we have learned from this lesson that like if we have profound faith in God, if we have profound faith in God, somehow or the other, we get support. Okay, we sometimes we come out of this crisis if we have whatever crisis we are undergoing. We come out of this crisis if we have profound faith on God. Number one. Number two, what does Lanco's suspicion of the post officials suggest about his character, or indicate about his character, or indicate about his nature? So this is what is also very important. See, Lancho does not have faith on humanity. That is very clear from his attitude towards the post office employees, right? He thought that post office employees have stolen his 30 pesos and given him 70 pesos, right? Because he has written a letter to God asking him for 100 pesos, but he got only 70 pesos. That is why he is suspicious of the post office officials, that they have stolen his 30 pesos and given him 70 pesos. Okay. So his suspicion on the post office employees suggests that Lancho was very, very skeptical or suspicious about human nature or human beings. He does not have faith on humanity, right? Which is the negative trait in, or negative characteristic in Lancho's nature. Lancho should have put faith on human beings, but he has not put on faith on human beings. He has become suspicious of human beings. He has become suspicious of the post office officials. He thinks that post office officials have taken his money and given him only 70 pesos. So this particular attitude of Lancho towards human beings, towards humanity, is something which is a negative trait in his character, or a negative characteristic in his character, right? Therefore, that is what also we need to take into consideration when we go for the analysis of this story, right? So, on the one hand, we got the message that if we have profound faith on God, if we believe in our work and leave the rest on God, somehow we come out of this crisis. Okay, somehow if we have any kind of crisis in our life, if we undergo any kind of crisis, we come out of this crisis. That is the first message, or you can say the first take home from this lesson. What is the second take home? The second take home from this lesson is we need to be putting faith on human beings as well. Okay, we cannot be very much suspicious about human beings always. Okay, sometimes we can be, but not always. Not the way Lancho did, because see, it is the postmaster. It is the postmaster and his effort, and it is the postmaster and his employees who came together and collected so much of money for Lancho. Right? They are not able to collect 100 pesos as Lancho wanted. Um, they showed their human nature. Postmaster as well as post office employees showed their helping attitude, showed their charitable charitable nature to Lancho. But on the other hand, what they got? They got nothing but suspicion from Lancho. So this is what is the negative trait or characteristic of Lancho. So we need to look at this lesson from these 2 points of view, right? You understood now, I suppose? Okay. So Asmita, good morning. Good morning, all of you. So I hope you understood this particular message. On the one hand, we have to understand that it's good that if we have faith on God and we go through any kind of crisis, we tide over this crisis, okay, because God helps us in some way or the other. And on the other hand, on the flip side, we come to know that Lancho has a lot of suspicion for the post office officials, which is what is not good at all. Okay, so that is the negative trait of Lancho's character. Lancho should be able to put faith in humanity, which he did not do in this story. That is why it reflects his bad character. Okay, so please do remember these two aspects. Okay, okay. Next, let us workout and exercise. Okay, see, like NCERT questions I told you are there on my website, so you can consult and write down in your notebook. But when it comes to language and exercise here, let us practice this here. Okay, so dear students, you see here, hailstones means what? Hailstones are small balls of ice, right? Hailstones are small balls of ice that fall like rain. A storm in which hailstones fall is a hailstorm, right? You know that a storm is bad weather with strong winds, rain, thunder, and lightning. Now, you need to you need to match the name in the box with their definitions below. Okay, so here you can see there are six definitions given. There are six uh, definitions given of the words inside the box. So you need to tell me what does each definition stand for. A violent tropical storm in which strong winds move in a circle. Okay, so I give you a hint. Shall I give you a hint, or you will be able to tell? Let me see who is able to tell first. A violent tropical storm in which strong winds move in a circle. What should be the answer? Tell me. Let me see who can tell first. Very good. Nandini said cyclone. Cyclone. Okay. Very nice. Next, an extremely strong wind. An extremely strong wind. Extremely strong wind is very good, very good. Asmita, Atharv, Asmita, then Jui, Nandini. Yes, gale. An extremely strong wind is gale. Gale. Okay. If you have the hard copy of the textbook with you, you can please write with pencil. Okay. You can now fill up with pencil. If you have the hard copy with you, you can now fill up with pencil. And if you do not have the hard copy with you, you have to remember. Okay, what I am discussing now. Okay. Okay. Next, let's find out a violent tropical storm with very strong winds. A violent tropical storm with very strong winds. What is that? Yes. Anusri says tornado. Okay, very good. Tornado. Anusri says tornado. Okay, so Tornado. Nice, correct. Next, number five. A violent storm with very strong wind, especially in the western Atlantic Ocean. What is this called? A violent storm with very strong winds, especially in the western Atlantic Ocean. What is this called? Tell me. What is this called? Do you have any idea? Yes, very good, very good. Bristi, Pranati, Asmita. Okay, Asmita said hurricane. Asmita, Pranati, and Athar, Bristi. Okay, these are the three people who said first. So it is hurricane. Okay, Hurricane. Okay. Next, you can see a very strong a very strong wind that moves very fast in a spinning movement and causes a lot of damage. Yes, hurricane. That is hurricane. Hurricane. And this one a violent will be a violent storm will be tornado, right? Torn. What is this called? What is number five? Hurricane. 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 And this then what is this one? Whirlwind. Whirl. Whirlwind. This is whirlwind and this is hurricane, right? Yes, very good, very good. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next. Now let's Okay, now let's do another exercise here. This one. So this one is a bit difficult. That is why I have my answer ready for you. You see here. Dear students, here it is said that match the sentences in column A with the meanings of hope in column B. Okay, let's find out. See here. Will you get the subjects you want to study in college? I hope so. Right. So what does this sentence indicate? It indicates the matching color green. So green means here wanting something to happen and thinking it quite possible. Okay. So will you get the subject you want to study in college? I hope so. So it indicates wanting something to happen and thinking it quite possible. Next you see, I hope you don't mind my saying this, but I don't like the way you are arguing. What does this sentence indicate? It indicates that it shows concern that what you say should not offend or disturb the other person. A way of being polite. Okay, a way of being polite. I hope you don't mind my saying this, but I don't like the way you are arguing. It means a way of being polite. Okay. Next, you see, this discovery will give new hope to HIV/AIDS sufferers. So, a feeling that something good will probably happen, right? So, the meaning of this is a feeling that something good will probably happen. Next, you see, we were hoping against hope that the judges would not notice our mistakes. We were hoping against hope that the judges would not notice our mistakes. So, wishing for something to happen, although this is very unlikely, right? So, this way you have to match. Although this is very unlikely means this will not, whatever we are wishing or hoping is not going to be successful. Why is not going to be successful? Because judges will certainly notice these mistakes. Okay, so that is why it is said hoping against hope. Hoping against hope means even though we are hoping, but it's against hope means our hope or our wish is not going to be successful, right? So this is another way of saying this is very unlikely. Whatever we are thinking to happen is something which is very unlikely. Okay. Next, I called early in the hope of speaking to her before she went to school. So you should be thinking this could happen. It may or may not have happened, right? I called early in the hope of speaking to her before she went to school, thinking that this would happen. It may or may not have happened, right? So this sentence tells us that this may not happen. It's just a prediction or you can say probability. That's a probability. I called early in the hope of speaking to her before she went to school. But at that moment she may not be available or she may have been away for taking bath or some other work. So this is a probability. It may be successful. It may not be successful. Next, you see, just when everybody had given up hope, the fisherman came back 7 days after the cyclone. Just when everybody had given up hope, the fisherman came back 7 days after the cyclone. So, what does it mean? It means stop believing that this good thing would happen. So, they all stopped believing that this good thing would happen. Right. So, what have we learned from this exercise, dear students? Actually, this exercise is about the phrases. Like here, if you notice how the word hope is used in these sentences from the story. I hope each passes quickly. There was a single hope, help from God. In the first example, hope is a verb, which means you wish for something to happen. In the second example, it's a noun meaning a chance for something to happen. So, we can use the word hope as a verb also, as a noun also. See, as a noun we have used it, and this is as a verb we have used the word hope, right? So this is what we have learned how things like they say I hope so. Here you can see I hope you don't mind. Then new hope. This is noun. This is used as noun. Then it is again verb. then again it is noun, and again it is noun. And we have also learned several phrases from this exercise, like hope against hope. Hope against hope means something that is likely to happen, right? Or something that is very unlikely, right? Hope against hope means there is no hope. We have learned this. Then we have learned given up. Given up means which is I have given up hope means I have stopped hoping, right? Then you don't mind my saying this. Mind my saying, okay? Means I hope you don't mind whatever I say. So if we want to say this, we can say mind my saying this. So we need to learn these phrases as well. Hope against hope, mind my saying, then given up. Okay, and we have also seen how each sentence means different things, right? Like for example, if we say, "I hope you don't mind my saying this," but I don't like the way you are arguing. It means showing concern that what you say should not offend or disturb the other person. A way of being polite. So if you do not agree to someone's statement, and on the other hand, you would like to convey the message to him or her, then you can use this particular sentence. Okay, you can say, I hope you don't mind my saying this, but I don't like the way you are arguing, or I don't like the way you are defending yourself, right? So this is how you can express. Okay, this is a polite way of expressing your disapproval, right? Then this discovery will give new hope to HIV/AIDS sufferers. So that is very common. Of course, you will be able to know. It means that something good will happen. Okay. But this sentence is also good. Just when everybody had given up hope, the fishermen came back 7 days after the cyclone. Okay, it means when everyone had given up hope, whenever they stopped, just when everyone stopped hoping, the fishermen came back, after the cyclone, right? So it means when some people stop believing that this good thing would happen, right? So we have learned these phrases, idioms, and expressions as well. Okay. Now let's do this exercise. Okay. Now, dear students, let's do another exercise here. So you see, let's do this exercise. See, all morning Lancho, who knew his field intimately, looked at the sky. Then the woman who was preparing supper replied, Yes, Godwin. The italicized part, italicized means this part is called italicized, okay? This part is called italicized. Okay, so the italicized parts of the sentence give us more information about Lancho and the woman. We call them relative clauses. We call them relative clauses. Notice that they begin with a relative pronoun who. Other common relative pronouns are whom, whose, and which. Right? So, the relative clauses in A and B above are called non-defining because we already know the identity of the person they describe. Lancho is a particular person and there is a particular woman he speaks to. We don't need the information in the relative clause to pick these people out from a larger set. A non-defining relative clause usually has a comma in front of it and a comma after it. Some writers use a dash instead as in the story. If the relative clause comes at the end, we just put a full stop. Okay. So, dear students, you see, this is a relative clause. What is a relative clause? A clause that begins with relative pronoun like who, what, when, how, all this, whom. Okay. Uh, so this phrase is started with relative pronoun. That's why it is called relative clause, right? So relative clause is also called non-defining here. Okay, there are two kinds of relative clause. One is defining relative clause, one is non-defining relative clause. And it is non-defining because they are separated by a dash or a comma. You can see here comma. The woman, comma, who was preparing supper, comma. So when relative clause is separated by a comma or a dash from the main sentence, that particular clause is called non-defining clause, right? Because see, here non-defining means what? Without this relative clause part also, the sentence will be very much complete. Like if I say all morning Lancho looked at the sky, we already know about Lancho, so no need to give this information. So as this information, who knew his fields intimately is not necessary to know or understand about Lancho's condition. That is why it is called non-defining clause. Okay, and if the information given is important for us, then it will be called defining clause. Okay, so I hope you understood. Okay, so relative clauses are of two types: defining clause and non-defining clause. And the examples given here are non-defining clause because they are not so important in the context of the subject, and moreover, means non-defining, right? And how do we know non-defining clause? We can know non-defining clause in two ways. Number one, they will be beginning with relative pronouns, and number two, they will be separated either by a comma or by a dash. Okay. Next, let's move on to the exercise part. See, I often go to Mumbai. Mumbai is the commercial capital of India. Okay. So I can write like this: I often go to Mumbai, which is the commercial capital of India, right? Which is the relative pronoun. Okay. Next, my mother is going to host a TV show on cooking. She cooks very well. So you have to combine these two sentences using this relative pronoun who, right? So by using this relative pronoun who, we have to combine these two sentences. So you have to write my mother, who cooks very well, is going to host a TV show on cooking, right? So you write my mother, who cooks very well, is going to host a TV show on cooking, right? Next, you see, these sports persons are going to meet the president. Their performance has been excellent. These sports persons whose performance has been excellent are going to meet the president. Next, Lancho prayed to God. His eyes see into our hands. Lancho, whose eyes see into our hands, prayed to God. Right? So how will you write? Lancho, whose eyes see into our minds. Sorry, Lancho prayed to God, whose eyes see into our minds. So whose eyes refers to God's eyes. No, that's why after the God, the relative clause should come. Understood? Because he's talking about God. His eyes means what? He means here, his means God. That is why Lancho prayed to God, whose eyes see into our mind. This man cheated me, I trusted him. Whom? This man whom I trusted cheated me. Him. This man whom I trusted cheated. I trusted him. Cheated me. This man whom I trusted cheated me. Right? So this is how we have to write this. Join these two sentences into a relative clause. Sometimes the relative pronoun in a relative clause remains hidden. For example, look at the first sentence of the story. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. So here, the house which is missing here. So sometimes relative pronoun is also missing, but it is separated by a dash or a comma. Okay, we can write this sentence as the house which was only in the entire valley sat on. In A, the relative pronoun which in the verb was were not present. Okay. Now you can see here using negatives for emphasis. You have to use negatives for emphasis. Like we know that sentences with words such as no, not, or nothing show the absence of something or contradict something. For example, this year we will have no corn. Corn will be absent. The hail has left nothing. Absence of crop. These aren't raindrops falling from the sky. They are new coins. Contradicts the common idea of what the drops of water falling from the sky are. Okay. But sometimes negative words are used just to emphasize an idea. Look at this sentence from the story. Lancho had done nothing else but see the sky toward the northeast. Means he had done only this. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. He had only this reason. Yes. Lancho showed not the slightest surprise in seeing the money. He showed no surprise at all. Okay, now look back at the examples. We notice that the contraction first, in fact, starts to emphasize the value of usefulness in the range. Okay. Anyway, it's not so important for you. Find sentences in the story with negative words which expresses following ideas emphatically. Okay. So we shall discuss this later on because we need to wind up. It seems now. Mm, let me check the timetable. It should be 8:52. Okay, in the meantime, dear students, you please see this. If you have a textbook, you can write down the object and metaphor. Like cloud is a metaphor, huge mountains of cloud. Cloud here stands for huge mountains. So raindrops is object, but metaphor is the curtain of rain. What is used actually in the story. So in the story, curtain of rain is used as a metaphor for rain. Then frozen parts is used as a metaphor for hailstones. Plague of locusts has been used as a metaphor for locusts, a plague of locusts. Then an ox of a man is used for man. So this particular column is used as a metaphor. Okay. So please okay. So please do note this. 9:30. Okay, till 9:30. Please take a note of this, dear students. This is the metaphorical use of the word cloud, raindrops, hailstones, locust, and man. Okay, instead of saying a strong man, he said an ox of a man. You see here, an ox of a man. Instead of saying just man, he said an ox of a man. It means the working of an ox in the field. Means hard work. It shows Lancer's hard work. The working of an ox in the fields. Plague of locusts means an epidemic that spreads very rapidly and leaves many people dead. A plague of locusts here means the consequences of destruction of plague. Frozen pearls means hailstones, the resemblance in color and hardness of a pearl. Draping or covering of an area by a curtain is called curtain of rain. Huge mountains of clouds means the mass or hugeness of mountains. Right? So, dear students, as you can see here, it is the metaphor actually. The word metaphor comes from a Greek word meaning transfer. Metaphor comes from a dear students, as you can see here, metaphor comes from a Greek word meaning transfer. Metaphors compare two things or ideas. A quality or feature of one thing is transferred to another thing. Some common metaphors are the leg of the table. The leg supports our body, so the object that supports the table is described as a leg of the table, right? Leg, it is used as a metaphor, because quality of something is transferred to another thing, right? So the leg of a table. Here, leg of a table means the leg supports our body, so the object that supports the table is described as a leg. Understood? The heart of the city. Heart of the city. How is it a metaphor? Heart is used as a metaphor because the heart is an important organ in the center of our body. So this word is used to describe the central area of a city. Understood? As heart is central to important organ in the center of our body, likewise, heart of the city means the heart of the city means the something okay, which is in the central area of a city, something that is located in the central area of the city. So, can you imagine how metaphor is used? Metaphor is not only the comparison. Always remember, metaphors are not always the comparison of two things or ideas. Metaphors also represent a quality or feature of one thing that is transferred to another. Right? Like here, heart is usually used for human body, right? But here, heart is used for city. So the quality or feature of our body has been transferred. Of heart has been transferred to the center of the to the city. So that is how metaphor is also used. Okay. Mm, In pairs, find metaphors from the story to complete the table below. Try to say what qualities are being compared. Okay. So I already explained this one. So dear students, the next day we shall start a new lesson. Okay. So please do remember that you have to write down the NCERT solution from the website, right? So how to go there and how to find out the thing. If I'm not sending you links, you do one thing. You do one thing, dear students. See, you go to the website and you type here. Okay, just type here. Okay, a letter to God. You type a letter to God, it will come out, and then you write down the NCERT solution. Right, from the website you write down the NCERT solution. See, this is a letter to God. So you write down this NCERT solution, right, on your English notebook you write down. Okay, you can also add some value points if you think these answers are not having one or two answers are not having. If you think like you can include some more value points, you can add. This is just for your guidance, just for your help. If you think you can include more value points, you can also use in these answers as well, right? So please complete this notebook work. Okay, please complete this notebook work and always remember to give comments here. See, there is no comment here, no like here. See, I am just given likes here. See, okay, so you got to write comment here, give your feedback here, and then you have to like. If you think I deserve a like, so you can give a like here, right? So please do write comments also so that I understand. Okay, I shall read out all your comments. Okay, so please complete your notebook work, and next day we are going to start a new lesson. Okay, we are going to start a new lesson next day. That is a poem. Okay, so thank you, dear students. If you belong to section B, go to the section B classroom folder and give attendance. If you are from section A, go to classroom folder section A and give attendance, because you have attended the class today, but your attendance should also be recorded, right? So before you leave, just write, text me, yes sir. Just write yes, so that I can understand how many of you are present till the end. Okay. Okay, like Anudipa has written, Riddhi Buratkar has written, Vaibhav, Riya Putraje has written, Athar, yes, yes. So, rest of you who are watching me, please write, give me a text, yes. Just write the text, yes. Tanvi, yes. Rushada, Achal, Arihant, Ayushi, Anusri, Akanksha, Krishna, Shruti, Anudipa, Asmita, Soumya, Aswini, Atharv, Manthan, Sonia, Shivam, Bristi, Janavi, Raj Chaudhary, Anati, Riddhi Buratkar, Sambhavi, Harshal. Okay, very good, very good. Thank you, dear students. Thank you so much for your presence till the end. Bye bye. Take care, and please do complete the notebook work. Right? We are going to begin a new poem in the next class. Till then, bye bye. Take care, and have a nice day.